الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ما شاء الله لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الله 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 عزيز الله 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 كريم الله 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 سبحان الله 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 سلطان الله أنت السلطان أنت ربنا ونحن عبادك الضعيف العجيز. Allah is our Lord and all of us are His weak servants, weak and helpless. We can't do anything. We're asking help from Maulana Shaykh Hisham and Maulana Shaykh Nazim, if we can be permitted to say that, and asking a blessing to come to our gathering by Shah Naqshband's holy words, Tarikatuna Asahba wa Khairun Jamia wa Dar Shahra Afat Ast. This is Ali in Montreal, speaks Farsi language, and I asked him to. He's a linguist, and I'm a bit of a linguist. He's a linguist, and I asked him to look up the etymology, the roots of that Persian word shahrat. Shah Naqshband, Shah Naqshband, he said the simplest translations: in fame, to be popular, to be renowned, to be flattered, is the seeds of affliction. Is affliction, like this virus, sickness comes on you. You lose the crops, the fruits of your good works. And when he looked deeper into the root of the word, shahrat, more deep in the root, it was exposed. As you become famous, you become exposed. Look how many famous politicians, when they became exposed to people, you see how they are. The veil is taken away. Or if they're blind to that, it leads to their own downfall. So we're asking refuge to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the darkness of our egos, and asking lights coming from up, coming through our Shaykh to us, coming through our door, that we need His holy help. We're using a Wi-Fi to do this meeting. It's going by invisible waves, reaching everyone with their instrument to receive it. Each time it's getting more improved. Last year we didn't have this way. They had Facebook. They had live streaming. Now we have this one, new one. Later there should be something else also. It improves. But Awliya's Wi-Fi, Maulana Shaykh used to say, is more powerful from those instruments. They have ways of reaching. I was looking in Shaykh Abdul Hamid Ghazali. He has a book called the Mishkatul, what's it called? The Mishkatul Anwar. Letters is reversed. You can see it correctly? Raise if you see it the right way. Mishkatul Anwar. He talks about, they say if all the books of Islam is lost, only his books is left, it's okay. He said every level of light has a level above it. He said, for instance, we see with our eyes. Our eyes takes in light. Physics can understand that. We see something, but it's limited. We can only see what we're looking at, and the spectrum that human eye can take in, we know from science, is limited. There's more colors and more wavelengths that we can't perceive with our eyes. They said there's other, we have other sensory possibilities, capabilities, organs that can perceive on a higher level. He said the mind is more than the eye, for instance. The eye and the taste and the smell and the hearing can bring information. He called them the spies of the mind. They go out and they gather information, and the mind begins to process it. But even mind is limited to its point. When we're up against what we can't understand, the mind buckles. They have a new word coming now, cognitive dissonance. We're receiving, all of us, so much information every day, it doesn't add up. We can't put it together. We can't understand what's going on now. The current situation is so convoluted. You can't know which information is true, which information is false, what we can do with that information, how to understand it. So the mind has its limit. We have to go beyond its limit. Maulana Shaykh, when he would speak, he would say something, and Maulana Shaykh Hashem would say to me, you have to know what Maulana Shaykh means to say. It's not simple the way we understand it. I gave an example this afternoon. It's not good to talk about your own individual adventures, but what to do? To make the point, Maulana Shaykh one time, this was a long time ago, more than 40 years ago, 79 or 80, or maybe even 78, I don't know. And he said, World War III is going to come in November, for instance. Perhaps I saw him in summertime, and he said, November is going to be the war. Russia is going to enter to Turkey, and America is going to face them, and it should be a huge Marhamatul Kubra, the greatest war. 6 of 7 should pass away, should die, and Mahdi should come, and Dajjal should come. And all of us were scared from that. And the day that I remember calling the newspaper in Chicago to their foreign desk. I say, I want to alert you to an important development. And they say, who is this? I say, never mind who this is. You keep your eyes on Turkey. I was so sure it was coming. I say, what? I say, you just keep your eyes on Turkey. It's coming. They thought I'm a nut, and they hung up. The date passed. Nothing happened. Something happened. Many things happened, but what that event didn't. I went to Cyprus in the winter, and Maulana Sheikh Nazim had just, there was no more permission for him to be in Damascus, and he had just moved back to Cyprus. And he wasn't yet in Lefke. At that time, he was staying in a town on the seacoast called Girni. Maybe some of you have been there, some not. He was staying at a Murid's house, Baisal Bulboy, I remember him. He was a pharmacist. And I came to the house, and Maulana was alone, nobody coming to see what's going on. And he's sitting there reading his Dalail al-Khairat. Not a care in the world. World War III, no World War III, he's reading. And I sat there, I didn't say anything. I went to one of the other chairs and sat down and waited. Finally, he looked up at me and said, he came? He means Mahdi. Now I'm embarrassed because he knows that what I'm thinking. I looked down and he said he made a like a pantomime, or he pretends he's at the airport looking at the screen, the arrivals and departures. And he said, plane delayed. And he looked at me, he said, anyone complaining to you? And now I'm more embarrassed because I'm full. I'm a walking complaint. I looked down at the ground because I'm embarrassed in front of Maulana Shaykh. And he said to me, I know why I said those things. I'm not crazy. When I say things like that, world is going to end, their love of dunya comes down. Their love of dunya comes down. If they object on me, he said, they're objecting on Quran, because Quran uses the same method. If you read Holy Quran, so many ayats and surahs point out to the reader that the end is coming, death is coming, the angel of death is coming. Kullu nafsin dha'iqatul maut. Every soul must taste death. End is coming. Every people has its term and then going to be finished. Look and see what happened to the others. So many ayats saying the end. And that's Quran's method, because our love of dunya is so strong. Every one of us clings onto life with all we can. All of us is like that. It's human nature, ego's nature. And Maulana Shaykh is trying to break that to go to a higher nature. As the eyes can't understand everything, and mind can't perceive everything, mind can't perceive angels or jinns or higher levels or the Malakut, Jabarut, Ahut, Nasut. We hear about these levels in books of Sufism. Maulana is trying to get us to higher perception and higher understanding. He has to get us to be able to open the locks on our heart. That Allah said, it's not the eyes in your head that's blind, it's the eyes in your heart that's blind. It's not the ears in your head that's deaf, it's the ears in your heart that's deaf. That's Holy Quran. So Maulana is trying to break that love of dunya that keeps us drunk and busy. We love dunya so much. Like a man who falls in love with a beautiful woman, he runs after her day and night, thinking that he can't think anything else. Where a woman falls in love with a man, she can't think anything else. We're like that for dunya. That's the example for dunya. We love it. Some people is like that for money. Some people is like that for power. Some people is like that for position. For everything. Every level of dunya, we love it and we run after it and we cling to it and we hate more than anything if it's taken from us. What's the problem with this virus? Stay home. Okay, we're home. It breaks our dunya. We're in fear. We're fearing to lose everything. That feeling, we have to use it. We have to use it. We were saying this afternoon, as Maulana Shaykh said, when Sayyidina Musa, peace be upon him, he was asking to go beyond his mind's level, but he didn't realize that.
Allah, Allah, Allah.
Who is there? He's asking to go beyond his mind's level, and he asked Allah about the higher knowledge, why the will of Allah unfolds the way it does. Why good and bad? Why good fortune and bad fortune? Why things happen? Allah say, I gave that knowledge to someone. You have to find him and follow him to learn that. And that was Sayyidina Khidr alayhi salam. Musa found him and said, let me do my bayat to you, let me accompany you as your murid, as your student, to learn that. Higher knowledge. And Khidr said to him, you can't. It's out from your mind. It's past the block of your mind. Your mind goes, you're asking something you can understand. You can't understand something now. Now you're asking to understand it. That understanding is through your mind. Mind has a limit. You don't know about that limit. You think everything's in that limit. If you want that knowledge, you're going to find things that's out from your mind. You can't take it. You're going to come something. You can't carry it. Musa was from the Ula Azimat, the most determined, and they had the highest himma, the highest aspiration and intention. So he said, okay, I'll carry it. I'll be patient. Khidr said, you can't be patient. He said, I'll be patient. He said, okay, you can accompany me. We say this every Friday, but condition, don't say, try to control yourself not to say anything with whatever you see when you accompany me. And Musa agreed to keep quiet, and he couldn't. Khidr showed him 3 things, and he couldn't be patient. He sank the boat, he killed the boy, and he built up the wall, and Musa said, what's going on? And Khidr said, okay, I told you can't be patient. I showed you 3 things, you couldn't understand it. Your mind, it didn't fit with your mind, and now you're like that. You have to go beyond that. You have to know the will of Allah. Khidr said, I did all those things by Allah's will, not by my will. He was a special servant. Everyone is by the will of Allah. Allah, there's no other. Fa'ili haqiqi. He's doing everything. But we can't understand that. And the Shaykh, he's trying to put us in situations that is beyond our understanding, that we can try to surrender, that he can try to take us up, to go beyond the limits of our understanding. First has to be broken the love of dunya that's keeping us from even trying. We never take the first step. We can't try. We're so in love to dunya, all of us. I'm not complaining to anybody about anybody else. I'm the first one. We love it. You take even a potato chip from me and I'll, or prevent me from getting a simple thing. I can't tell that story. I won't say. Let's say there was a fellow back in the old days. He fell in love with a girl. And that's all he can think about is that girl. He's running after her to marry her. And the girl is, yes, batting her eye and bringing, yes. And everything is all right. And he's going to Maulana Sheikh Nazim. I saw it. He's waiting in line to, people were coming to the Sheikh to ask him. He's waiting to ask permission to marry that woman that he's in love with. Just as he gets to Maulana Sheikh, somebody jumps in from behind, asks permission on that girl. He says yes, and they run off together. The person comes to the line, he says, yes, now what can I do for you? Says, oh, nothing. Like that. The Shaykh, to break our love of dunya. So strong. First, our ego. Second, shaitan. Third, love of dunya. And the fourth one, our desires. I want this, I want that. No matter what you give me, I'm not happy with it. You like this food? No, I want another one. How about this one? No, I don't want that one. This one? No, I don't want that. You give it, never satisfied with what it gets. We have to break it. And this situation is a good chance for us. Maulana Sheikh said about Sayyidina Musa that those 3 adventures that Sayyidina Khidr put him in, he left those as bridges for Musa to go back and meditate on it and go to a higher understanding. Things by Allah's will. And like that, when we come to a difficult situation, there are things for us to meditate on to go to a higher understanding. Maulana Shaykh Hashem said this is a war. This is a war with jinns, with things we can't understand it. Things are going on between goodness and evil. And it's going back and forth, a war between good and evil, light and dark. How we can understand this? We have to be patient. We have to come back to our khalwat, to sit, to make zikr, to do all the things he told us to do, read Holy Quran, read Dalail Khairat, make tasbih, make salawat, make everything. Try to be patient with the situation and ask Allah to make it as a ladder or a bridge for us to get up to a higher understanding. As we said before, Maulana was always using the ayat, Ya fasta'iz billah, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, amanu. Oh, you who believe, believe. Try to go more. Try to make your belief power to come into operation. Try to make the heart to be a functioning thing, not stopping at the level of our minds. Break through this barrier. Try to go more. Try to go more. Try to go more. And this is an opportunity. This is the month of Shaban. This is the last 10 days of the Khalwat. Try to use it. Try to use it. Pray, make dua, make zikr. Try to use it as a bridge to get up. We said this afternoon, I'll repeat it again. He said, why Mahdi is not coming? And Mahdi here is also symbolic why that opening is not coming. Mahdi is what? The rescuer. Who opens the difficulties, opens the barriers, and makes heavenly appearances to be on earth. Why he's not coming? Sheikh Muhyiddin was saying, I found Mahdi in myself. He was diving through himself. How it's not happening. He said, generally on this world, and it applies to each one of us personally also, everyone thinks they can solve the problem by themselves. This situation now, everyone is saying we have this medicine, we have that medicine, we can bring this task force, we can do this, we can do that, we can do this. We can fix it. We have enough intelligence, enough power, enough cleverness to fix it. He said, that's why Mahdi is not coming. When people think they can fix it themselves, no need for Mahdi. When a person and humanity as a whole loses hope they can fix it themselves, we ourselves, then Mahdi should come. When everyone is saying, oh my Lord, like a person thrown off a boat into the sea, a drowning person. Now no hope. No one can get out now. Help us. Send us a helper. Rabbi Jalla min alunka waliya. Jalla min alunka sultana nasira. Send us the one who will help us and save us and rescue us. When everyone is feeling like that, helpless from their own power, Allah should open. Allah should open. Yoma katai samai sijil kutub kama bada awla khalqin nuwid wahda alayna hina kunna fa'ilin. One day the heavens and earth will be rolled up. This view that we have in front of us will be rolled up like a screen, like nothing. It's only a view. It's not permanent. The dunya we love is only like a movie, like a cartoon. They used to have, I don't know if kids still play with it, they had something called Etch-a-Sketch. Now everyone's electronicized. They used to have a little box. It had a screen, and the kids had a little stylus, a pen. They could write and draw pictures and do everything on it. And then you turn it over and everything disappears. Everything is like that, going to disappear. Allah say, you think the mountains are firm. One day they're going to pass away like the clouds and be leveled out. It's not permanent. So we have to take this time to step back from dunya a little bit, to try. I'm advising myself first. Try to give time for Allah, that Maulana Shaykh should be able to intervene to take us up, even a little bit. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Use your belief power. Say to myself, oh my Lord, make my belief power to increase, to come closer to you. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa baraka ala Sayyidina Muhammad, Sayyidina Waliyina. Say 3 times, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Dhalika taqdirul aziz al-alim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Dhalika taqdirul aziz al-alim. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Dhalika taqdirul aziz al-alim. This is His decree, everything happening. Leave to Allah. Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakeel. Holy Quran says, Amin. Holy Quran says, for the Sahaba, a great army was gathering against them. Overwhelming power. All they said was, Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakeel. They didn't come afraid. They said, Allah, Kulan nusibana ila ma khatamallahu lana. Say nothing will happen to us except what Allah wrote for us. Leave this to Allah. Leave this to Allah. Leave this to Allah. Leave this situation to Allah. Run to your Shaykh. Allah blessed us to have a powerful and beautiful and wonderful Shaykh, Shaykh Hashem and Shaykh Nazim. Run to him. Run to him. Sit through your khalwat where no one sees you. Do where no one sees you. Don't say, I'm fasting. Allah knows you're fasting. Don't say, I'm making zikr. Allah knows you're making zikr. Make it for Allah. So, Shaykh Nazim, we're riding in the car, I'm making zikr. He took the beads out of my hand and shook it in my face. This is only means, sabab. This is not the target. Praying is not the target. Fasting, don't say, I'm a fasting person, a praying person, a zikr person, a charity person. These are means to go to Allah. He said, be with Allah. That's the important. There are means to try to be with Allah. Use any means you can use it. Privately, in your seclusion with yourself, be alone with Allah. No one sees you except yourself. Shah Naqshband said, Dar Shahrat Afad Ast. After Tariq al-Sahba wa Khayra fi Jamia, then he said, Dar Shahrat Afad Ast. In popularity and his destruction. He said, it's a wonder. Shah Naqshband, Allah bless him. He said, fame gives poison. Seclusion gives benefit. But everyone's running after fame and running away from being alone. He said, it's a wonder. Think on these things. Use them as bridges in your seclusion. Sit to try and go higher. May Allah send more. May Prophet send his holy help. And Grand Sheikh and Maulana Sheikh send what they are able to send to our hearts to try and inspire us how we can come up and open for us. It comes without our doing. It comes without our doing. One day, Shaykh may open it with his power. We don't have that power. He has. He has. We have power for little things. Going to finish when we pass away. He has that power. Run to that one. Run to that one. I'm advising myself also, may Allah grant everyone the blessings of seclusion, grant us from the drops of those awliya who are actually in seclusion in this month, and make us to use this opportunity as a bridge to come to a higher understanding. Allah knows what kind of good and evil is fighting each other now. What's happening with this virus, with this jinns, with this, who knows? He knows. Run to Allah that He should raise us up. Who He protects, no one can harm them. Who He takes His protection, no one can help them. No one can help them. You all know the story of Nimrod, the tyrant. He was coming against Sayyidina Ibrahim to throw him in a fire, to make him be quiet, not to talk about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that people should worship idols and worship Nimrod. He came with a mighty army to fight against belief, to extinguish it from earth. And he was camped with his army, and in the distance they saw a cloud coming. What kind of cloud was that? Like mosquitoes, tiny, tiny insects coming. They entering through Nimrod's ears and eating his brain from inside. He ordered his guards to beat him with hammers till he died from that. and he was claiming to be powerful on earth, to be the great Lord. A mosquito stopped him. Everything in Allah's hands. May He grant us His protection and His holy help to meditate on all these things, to spend some time alone with Him. Everyone has to be at home. Use it. Use this blessing. May Allah make us to pass through this tunnel. He said the whole earth entered into a terrible tunnel now. We don't know how it's going to emerge from that tunnel. Allah knows. May He send us someone to save us. May He send us His holy help to rescue us, that we can't rescue ourselves. And we're running to be under His protection and His blessing and His love. He said the person, even he wakes up at night and says, oh my Lord, I love you. It's enough. We prayed 100 rakahs, 1,000 rakahs. He said, no, 1 second with that love really is more than 1,000 rakahs without that love. And that comes when you're alone with Him. No one knows it except you and Him. May Allah bless us with that, with His suhba, real suhba, to be with Him. Bihurmat al-Habib, bihurmat al-Fatih. Amin. Okay.